Uh, Not melee, but he's still a short-ranged hero on the Storm, so you do end up taking a good chunk of harass from the different Leshrac spells and all of that. But as long as you get through the lane, you will fulfill what you need to do later, which is the initiation, which we have seen Darkmago kind of play that way. Like he doesn't crush his laning stage all the time on this hero, but he gets by well enough that he can then contribute in like he'll zip to the back line, find people, like he does what he needs in that sense.
A little bit of a pause here. Heroic actually getting some info during this pause is the smoke on the wolf expires as it head up to the high ground. So they actually know that there's a hero there. MNZ though, not gonna know, but you will know. So ward placed in the mid lane here for Heroic. Maybe a little bit hesitant on dropping their own for a Starbucks as the Disruptor going for a wraparound drops one in the triangle, or not the triangle, but on the high ground of the enemy jungle. I like that. It's always fun watching the ward games at the beginning.
Yeah, this time we got wolves too. It's like extra wards.
Dude, that is the one thing that I do remember specifically about Devi Lama's Lycan is he is very good at scouting and blocking with these wolves. Like I've seen him multiple times like prevent heroes from ever being able to stack like ancient camps or their triangle. They're looking for these wards, but they cannot find it. It's just barely off the mark in the mid lane. So unlucky there. He's also really good at dragging waves. It's one of the other things that Lycan can do that people forget about is when you're into bad matchups, you just use your wolves to drag the lanes and you don't need your support to be there. And that is quite a benefit a lot of the times. 2 for 2 on the runes. MNC actually time walks into Schofield, so he's going to take a little bit of harassment here.
Yeah, he won't die, but I mean that kind of stuff can add up in the laning stage. And we saw last game, he kind of outplayed that lane, but if you're taking a lot of damage early here versus a Lycan, well, that can get pretty scary pretty quickly. You do not want Lycan to be able to farm freely and hit this Helm of the Dominator timing.
So yours actually gone for a point and glimpse early. Mid lane, Darkmago is, like you said, kind of taking a beating here from the Lesh. But gets a deny, so ends up being okay for him. A little bit of an even CS. I think top lane's going to be really interesting to follow what this Lycan ends up doing.
I can appreciate that Heroic. It didn't really work out for them last game, but I feel like this style, even though the heroes are different, I feel a similar style of we're going to play pretty fast after winning our lanes and go from like their mid and their offlane picks.
Yeah.
And after
100%.
losing a game like that, it can be easy to lose confidence in maybe what you've practiced, what you've done, but just say like, last game didn't work out. Let's just try it again. Slight adjustments in the draft, learn from our mistakes, and let's do it again. This is what we're good at, or this is how at least we want to play. So hopefully it works out for them this time.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm a little bit surprised Disruptor going Glimpse 1 because he's had a really rough time like trading in that lane, right? Maybe it was for the rune fight or something, but yeah, Glimpse not doing great for him. There's another, the exact micro I was talking about where Devi Lama just sends his wolf to block the camp even though it gets decentried. So very good micro on this guy. You gotta definitely pay attention to those. I mean, slow start to this game, but I mean, for the most part, fairly even. Primal Beast and Faceless Void struggling a little bit. I think like this mid lane, I don't know if it actually gets easier for the Storm Spirit.
Not until he's 6, I think.
Okay, so a bit. It's gonna take him a while. Top lane, we're finally seeing a fight actually break out as they're looking for Yor. He has a Blood Grenade, could throw it back the other way, but MNZ, holding his Time Walk at the moment, will use it to get to safety. But I think overall, this kind of favors Schofield since it looks like he should be able to get this rune. Or yeah, get the Lotus, and he does. So Yor has no real way of contesting this lane at the moment.
Yeah, and something to note here is that even though there's been no kills, like you're pretty happy with that for a Lycan. This Helm of the Iron Will is a lot of regen, a lot of armor, helps you just get through the rest of the laning stage to pick up the Helm of the Dominator, and then that's when you get really scary. So you kind of want to punish the Lycan as early as you possibly can, which is why I am surprised we didn't see that Thunderstrike level 1. But because of that, I mean, yeah, Lycan's farming pretty well. He doesn't need to look for kills right now. That'll happen when he has the Helm of the Dominator level 6.
This is all going well for Heroic, right? Like, we talked about the fact that they need to play a quick game here. You have a really well-farmed Lycan, and your mid lane's also going extremely well for the Leshrac. So if they happen to get to these item timings to these, like, early points in Diabolic Edict, which Analog actually just steals the rune from Dark Mago there. That is huge. And, yeah. He's making it very difficult
Schofield's waiting top, too.
Yeah. Dark Mago might... He's going to get some harassment damage back. Okay, plays the Fairy Fire very well, but top lane, because your Rubik's left, they finally managed to bring down this Lycan. Some big kills going the way of MNZ, and there's the tip. He's like, I know you're over there. Thanks, buddy.
I mean, it would have been a huge kill mid if that had worked. They were trying to do what Starbacks did to them last game.
Yeah.
Lycan, fortunately, did buy his Helm of the Iron Will before he died, so didn't lose too much in terms of gold, and he will come to lane with that item now, so I think getting a second kill here will be pretty tough, but pretty nice for MNZ.
Definitely not going to get easier. Ooh, yeah, you're right. Nice kill on the bottom lane. All right. Just good aggression, playing around that level 2 Inkswell, plus, of course, Primal Beast. As soon as Disruption's gone, you're screwed, right? There's not a lot of options.
Yeah, you have to hold it. I missed what happened at the start of this. Ooh, Michael trying to TP out here, lift from Rubik.
This is a cheeky little play. He's trying to pull this wave back to force it to like double wave into their own side. And to get away from this lifesteal, obviously, because you don't want to be fighting into K1. He's got 2 points in the feast. It's very annoying. And mid lane, we're going to see a kill onto both of them. Oh my god, KJ, what a wraparound. Good disruption into Split Earth. Sacred's bringing these creep waves to an entirely different planet at this point. Some very weird lane shenanigans happening.
Yeah, everyone's being fast with the rotations. See, the 6-minute rune will be secured by Heroic.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a real good one.
Where that rune spawned like a second late.
He needs to be very careful here on Dark Mago. KJ is definitely looking for a disruption play here, but he's just going to back and go farm in his jungle, get to his level 6. He knows he needs to have it.
There's 6 heroes in this mid lane. See if
like
it's
this is a recurring
slaughter.
theme.
Yep. Right now it looks like it's... Everyone's just going to avoid it. Yeah, he's so close to 6.
Yeah, he's going to get it now. I mean, no points Edict, so you're not getting a lot of tower damage out of this Lesh, which is a great way to approach the lane if your goal is to just slow down the Storm Spirit, and Analog definitely has done so. He's nearly double the net worth of the Storm Spirit just 7 minutes into the game. But I mean, you've built a pretty solid lead already on the side of Heroic, and you're not gonna be able to push this Lifestealer out of lane at all anymore. He's free farming.
Yeah, so far things going a lot better for them compared to last game. But Starbacks, they're getting close to having some of their ultimates, some of their playmaking tools. So we'll have to see what they managed to get done. They had many good rotations in the last game. I think they were able to identify like what we need to make these ganks work. And I mean, you don't have that right now. So I think right now they just got to hold on, and we'll see when they start to make plays.
Yeah, I mean, they put more pressure on the Dark Mago mid again, right? Just KJ has just been sitting here waiting for disruption picks, and it's a lot of damage. And now that he's forced back, he's gonna have to TP out if he wants to contest the 8-minute power rune, as supports again are making their way towards mid. Scan coming through. He knows he's gonna be here. It does connect, but Rubik is top, Leshrac is bottom. Who's going to get it? Schofield, unable to hold Dark Mago back. Able to get an illusion rune. Not the most powerful rune at the moment. Especially not for one of these heroes. Oh, Sacred. He's like, oh, hello, I found your stacks. These are nice. Very nice.
Gets
but
disrupted, though.
He's going to get disrupted into a split earth and analog. He's just going to pick them all up. Plus, potentially the Primal Beast. He's got an onslaught away, but a well-timed telekinesis. The trio of heroic right now. Schofield, Analog, and KJ are getting it done.
Would have been a great steal, but they had observers set up to see Primal Beast maybe trying to make these plays, and they're going to continue pressuring mid, which I really like because Storm is the one who could make some of these earlier rotations first, and they're not able to kill him, but they're constantly pressuring him and his tower, keeping him low, and that's making it difficult for him to show up top to help kill this Lycan, or show up bottom to maybe, surprise this Lifestealer, although I think that kill's pretty tough. I'd probably top rotation a little easier.
Yeah, I agree. He's going to try and farm a few stacks of his own in the jungle here. Divine Llama scouting some of this out. And that's going to be an immediate smoke. KJ is level 6 on this Shadow Demon, meaning Demonic Purge is going to be a massive problem for someone like a Faceless Void. He can defensively chrono this to try and get to safety, assuming he doesn't die 100-0. And KJ is looking for that disruption setup here. He's going to get it. Oh boy, it's going to be close. Faceless Void, can they burst him in time? He gets the time walk to safety, and he actually doesn't throw the Demonic Purge. So MNZ's out. Failed gank at the moment, but you do have a lot of pressure coming through from this Helm of the Dominator. Of course, the Dark Troll Summoner, one of the best pushing creeps in the entire game.
I'm a little surprised they didn't commit more to get that Faceless Void kill.
Oh, mid lane.
Oh, doing it now.
Oh, now we're going to see a few different spells get thrown out on the top side. Again, you can do a decent chunk at holding back this Lycan, but eventually the creeps will just run you down. So they get the tower. They're going to get the Disruptor. Good commitment of that shapeshift. Mid lane, there was a jump from Dark Mago onto the Rubik with the help of Michael. Gets something going his way, but I think you're way happier on Heroic with this.
Dark Mago did get a regen rune, so that's one of the best you can get to recover your own game from farming,
nice.
and then still possibly make plays. We'll see what he gets done with that. Currently just stealing the enemy jungle.
Schofield's like, what if I was to try and take these? Good thing this regen can't be dispelled, and Schofield, they realize they can't really get on top of the storm. He just zips to safety. He doesn't have the kill threat onto this Rubik.
Good thing I farmed multiple camps and forced rotations, and I'm still going to be healed up to max with this regen rune.
Yeah, this thing is
the change is
good.
Too good.
So a 4,000 gold lead for Heroic now, as they are just becoming very powerful. Sacred will be able to just onslaught to safety, knowing that there's some heroes down here. We haven't really talked about K1 at all, other than the fact that he can just sit in this lane indefinitely. He's going for a Radiance here on the Lifestealer. An interesting build, because we don't really see it that often. But against something like a Faceless Void, wanting to have the evasion, I suppose, is pretty good. And Divine Llama gets the TP out. Very nicely done here. Just seeing this smoke gank coming out.
I think the Radiance build has caught on a lot, especially with committing some spells just to kill the Troll Summoner here. I think it's gained a lot of popularity since it got buffed. You're getting evasion more than before. Lifestealer, a classic hero, getting kited, but with the Radiance, it doesn't matter as much. You can disassemble it later for some different items. So I think it works this time. You also have Shadow Demon Illusions. Ooh, jump in the mid lane on Schofield. Oh. Disruptor ult, though.
Yeah, very good Static Storm. Soulbind as well. Dark Mago's out of all resources, but happen to have a bottled invis, so he's going to make it out. And they're going to try and turn this into a tower, though. And honestly, trading your Rubik for the mid-tier 1 seems pretty okay.
This is all part of the plan. Step 1, die in the mid lane. Step 2, my team takes the mid tower.
Don't worry, guys. I'm just a support. It's fine. Top lane, we're going to see them bring some heroes here for MNZ. Schofield steals a level 4 time walk. He's okay with that one. He's like, I'm not
never die like that again.
Glimpse dodged by Rage once again. Obviously, one of the reasons you see this Lifestealer picked up here so early in this draft without even seeing, you know, these other heroes.
He's just a good hero overall too, right?
Yeah.
And another reason, like you mentioned, he's just been sitting bottom. That's kind of what you want from a Lifestealer pick. You want him to be able to win that lane, and it frees up your support to go do whatever. In this case, it's been camping the Storm Spirit and stacking for your Leshrac. That only works if your carry does not die while you're gone.
Yeah. And a lot of people forget too, like being able to jungle is nice. Heroes like Terrorblade and Naga Siren and all them who are able to just like retreat to the jungle and farm if they have a bad time, Sven as well. It's fine. It's not a bad strategy, but there's a lot more gold in the lanes than there are in the jungle. So anytime you're able to just sit in your lane and chill, you're way happier and way better off. They'll take the bottom tier 1 tower. TP coming in from the Disruptor, and they don't see it. Pulverize comes through. Great Static Storm place, but Lifestealer, is he going to get out? KJ is here. Demonic Purge onto the Primal Beast. They're going to bring in everybody. Chrono's available, but he's infested. They're trying to figure out where. It's into an illusion, and now K1 maybe coming in a little bit too far. Great response from a Starbucks as they bring the numbers. Schofield's, though, surviving thanks to this time walk. Quite funny, but no, MNZ uses his own. Chronos up the Rubik. That will be 2 kills now going their way.
Great timing on the onslaught. It wasn't even necessary, but very nice.
Yeah.
All right, maybe a little too aggressive there on the Lifestealer. He is so close to his Radiance where he'll be so much more powerful. Wasn't really expecting that a Starbucks would defend this tower, I suppose. But paying the price for it, immediately TPs to his own triangles, like, okay, none of that for me. Safest farming location, let me finish this Radiance. And it will line up pretty nicely with this Helm of the Overlord from Divine Llama as well. We might see them start running at the enemy. I'm trying to check, is there anything they're waiting for?
I mean, realistically, it's just the Radiance, and Leshrac's going Bloodstone. He's already got his Kaya, so he's pretty tanky already. I don't think you really need much else. Like, there's no Chronosphere for another 90 seconds. You could just see them start playing aggressive.
Yeah, like if nothing else, I'd love to see them just like do something for a bit here, and then you can always go back to farming after that.
I'm not sure if you've scouted MNZ's build, but I mean, he queued it up earlier. He was going Midas. That kill catapults him up as well, as he's now got a Maelstrom done as well. So you have a 15-minute Midas Maelstrom on his safe lane Faceless Void, which is massive. We're going to be able to find Yor here. Just a classic Disruptor problem into the Lycan. He's like, I can't get away from these things, man. I can only trap so many animals in the cage.
Dire's middle tower.
Here they come, tier 2, got a catapult, got the Lycan.
As Helm of the Overlord,
there's much you can do about this.
Dire's top tower.
I mean, they're keeping the net worth relatively flat on a Starbucks. Like, they're not really falling behind at this point, and this is exactly what Heroic's timing is. Like, they need to start taking objectives when they're this strong. You have 4 points Edict, you have Helm of the Overlord. Like, you've got to start shrinking the map.
Dire's top tower has
You go Roche. It looks like they're drawing the line for it. Lifestealer is so bad at Roche, but maybe Leshrac is good enough with Edict.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Yeah, and I think with this Helm of the Overlord, you can do it.
Radiant's middle tower.
It will take a moment, which is maybe why they want to do it now before Chronosphere's back up. Like, that's how you get really screwed over here. It is being scanned, though, and Chronosphere is just about up. Will they come over? They might just take mid.
Yeah, it looks like they're giving this one up. Lifestealer was playing for mid lane to try and deep push the tower. I think gets a whiff of the rotation from a Starbucks there and immediately leaves. Schofield top lane, doing some damage. They are smoking up here, but the Roche is gone. They're actually TPing in Sacred as well. Looks like they should get this Rubik pick pretty easily. Can the rest of the team get out, though, is the question, because you're walking into a smoked Starbucks here, and finding KJ would be massive. He's just on the other side of their vision. Silence into the Vortex, catches the Leshrac. They managed to just get a solo kill onto this Faceless Void, though. A massive win for them, and Yor, no chance of TPing out. They're just falling one by one. Dude, this Lycan is enormous.
I thought that was going to go a lot better, actually, because K1 had gone bottom through the Twin Gate. They were pretty scattered. it looked like they might be able to find a strong fight there, but yeah, the strength of this Lycan, I feel like they took 3 separate fights and just won all of them there.
I mean, it was a 1v1. Faceless Void versus Lycan, and he decided not to chrono to survive, and he ends up dying for it, really. Like, that is absolutely nuts how much damage this Lycan did. You see Orchid reveal here from Dark Mago coming out onto the Rubik, but disruption from KJ is there, and you're about to get telekinesis, my friend. Oh boy, MNZ comes in, nice chrono onto 3, but he needs more damage. The Orchid now coming out, holding him in place. Another telekinesis. MNZ's dead. 2 deaths back to back, and nobody on Heroic dies. They've still got Aegis. They're gonna look for the tier 2 tower mid. And Divine Llama's got all of his summons, and all of this happening while K1 is farming.
You don't even need K1 for these fights, man. I'm curious if they'll go high ground or they're just going to finish cleaning out the map. Looks like, yeah, you got 3 minutes on Aegis. You're going to maximize this. If you go high ground and lose it, kind of lose a couple minutes, but they can take this tier 2 and then push high ground. Well, they see Lifestealer's not with the team.
Fight.
They might try to fight this.
Dude, Divine Llama's Orchid is so sick. He's going to go in here, get counter-Orchided, but the damage, dude, what is this? These summons are just shredding the side of the Starbucks, and now Static Storm holding Leshrac at bay as well as KJ, and now they just got to run. Divine Llama with a tip, dude. I don't even blame them. They just think they can actually fight, but this dragon's hitting for like 300 damage, it looks like.
Yeah, it was out of the meta for a little bit, and so they've been buffing the item again and again. Still not really in here, but I think it goes to show when you have a really good game and all these items come online so quickly, like it still does work.
Yeah, I mean, this Lycan's sitting at like 290 damage, and that's not with like the shapeshift crit. His dragon's sitting at like roughly 200 damage, and my goodness, it is becoming a massive issue for them. I mean, 9,000 behind at 20 minutes. It's not the most insurmountable lead we've seen, but it's the fact that the map is falling apart so quickly. We're going to see them turn right to the Tormentor. Disruptor trying to get some vision on it. Maybe he's like, I might be able to snipe it with Q, but no, they ends up going away at KJ. Demonic Cleanse going to make it even more difficult to find these kills now.
Time dilation pretty strong against some of these heroes, but, well, not anymore. At least not against one person.
Manta. Yeah, I mean, Lifestealer has Manta. Leshrac, looks like he's just going full offensive.
Yeah, so you'll cleanse the Leshrac in a lot of cases.
Yeah. I like the Manta pick up this game with the Orchid coming out from Dark Mago, like realizing he doesn't want to build a BKB for quite some time. And Manta gives him some good items to play around for now. They're going to scout potentially Divine Llama in the bottom lane. Orchid comes out. He responds with his own once again. Inkswell going to be able to stun him up. He is alone on this Lycan. This would be a massive kill if they can get it. He's just going to try and TP Vortex out once again, down to 100 HP, and finally an entire mana pool traded, but they get the kill. A huge kill streak going the way of the Storm Spirit.
Just trying to push out bottom a little bit, I think. Maybe staying too long. There's some deep wards by a Starbacks here, helping them find that kill. Very much needed. I'm not sure if they would have gone high ground now yet anyways, if he had been with the team. So maybe you don't feel like you've lost too much. Like they're smoking up. They definitely don't feel like they've lost too much.
I mean, the analog is so freaking strong right now. Schofield also has an Atos. KJ is level 11, looking for this Disruptor. Is not going to find it, but the Atos will catch the Grimstroke. This should be a pretty easy kill, but a good glimpse. Never mind, he's out for now. The Phantom Embrace will get stolen, but gets constantly getting sent back over to the Rubik. They find the kill. You're in trouble. Trying to get out, but no, the disruption from KJ in time. You're going to lose both supports for this one. Double kill goes to Analog. I mean, that was a pretty good first Aegis, if you ask me.
Yeah, he got every single tower, several kills, 9K up at 22 minutes. Yeah, from here you're just gonna finish farming up a couple more items, wait for that second Roche, and I mean when Lifestealer is raged up, hitting a tower with a disruption behind him,
And a cleanse on top of him.
yeah, I mean you're gonna have to Chronosphere him, and I think you just put the Aegis on Lifestealer, and then what? I guess you could put it on Analog too and have Analog be the one Diabolic's eating the tower. I will see what they choose. I think it's like whoever you put it on. I mean,
Radiant
they hit the tower with
structures are
Aegis. They have
fortified.
disruption behind them. Now what?
I'm looking at some of the other items being picked up at the moment, and we are very close to a scythe on the Leshrac. Like right now, the Storm Spirit, he's a little bit struggling against this Orchid, but this scythe is only 250 gold, 200 gold away now from the Leshrac, and at that point, every hero is vulnerable. You can definitely kill someone during a scythe. All right. They are gonna go ahead and get to work here. K1 just chipping the top tower a little bit. Again, they still need to be careful. Like there is some big play potential out of a Starbucks. You can hit like a pretty sick static storm and follow that up with the Chronos. Like there is plays to be made, and I think Heroic doing a pretty good job at not overextending, just continuing to hold the map in. Dark Mago doing his best to split push, but I mean you compare him right now in terms of net worth to these other cores, it's
Dyers are scarce.
pretty depressing. Oh, Sacred.
Sacred.
Yeah, I mean, he can try and onslaught away, but he used it to get in there, and Analog still has the Hex. Another disruption set up here into the follow-up from the Atos, and I mean, they don't even have to commit much at all. It's just a Disruptor ult, but that's a massive kill. If you can get his buyback as well, that's like best case scenario, and they might try and force it as K1's on the high ground here once again. And Analog gonna walk in. They should get the fort here as Edict will be way too much damage for the tower to tank.
Dyer's top
And
tower
there's no wave cut in the mid lane, so this next wave is coming in pretty fast.
Dyer's middle
All right, I mean, they're back on
Bring
everyone.
everyone back.
Dark Mago and MNZ are here. They've got to do something. The question is, can you?
Dyer's middle barracks are under attack.
It's just falling. Like, they actually just are too afraid to engage. I don't blame them, honestly. Like, this is a very scary life, a very scary Lesh. They do get the second fortification. They will pull Lesh in. They catch him on the side, or on the Orchid. A nice Vortex is there, but the Chrono from MNC. Perfect wraparound, finding KJ as well. They get Analog super low, and he's gonna die. 2 kills so far for a Starbucks, and they're looking for a Schofield as well. The perfect fight that they were looking for.
Was not able to get disruption off to save the Leshrac there. Was that a
Perfect Chrono.
disruptor silence preventing that?
No, it was like Faceless Void on just a wraparound Chronosphere.
Oh, gotcha. I was not processing that apparently.
Well, they
Everyone's just
lose the
picking up a kill.
Grimstroke here really quickly. And honestly, MNZ needs to be very careful. If he gets found here, he has no BKB, and the Orchid will absolutely spell death for him. The scan comes out, they know. They know he is here. Oh, Orchid's out. Lifestealer's coming. He's got a lot of damage. The bash is there. They're not going to be able to finish him off, but he gets the time walk going for the TP. Does he get a bash, though?
Bash.
Woo. KJ not close enough either. He was very close for a disruption.
Roche
Radiant's
spawning
tower
top.
is under attack.
All right, they know this. They want to play for second Roche. So they come through the twin gates. It should be fairly easy for them. Last time, it's a little bit slow, but with Leshrac here, at least relatively nearby, should be easy.
KJ's pretty close to his blink. I would love it if after this Roche, they give him time to farm to pick it up to make sure what happened last time does not happen again. He can just sit super far back, blink in only when needed for that disruption save.
Yeah, I mean, he only needs 100 gold now, and it should be pretty easy for him to pick up. If he gets like a single D ward, no problem at all, but the passive gold at this point should be only a few more moments. K1 does have an Abyssal coming out here very soon, only a couple hundred gold away. Yor is just running for this Wisdom Rune. He's going to get it and actually managed to take away the shard from Analog in the process. So nice little play here from the Disruptors. He'll TP on back. But your tier 3 tower in the top lane, of course, no fortification. We saw them pop both of them earlier. And with the help of Divine Llama's Lycan, now K1 getting in on the action. This is not even going to be close. You've got to get these heroes back to the base and quick. There he goes. Dark Mego goes in with the Inkswell. He's also got himself protected by this shield rune as Yor barely gets out with a very well-timed Ghost Scepter. Okay, gotta be careful. You've lost the Aegis on Analog. MNC with a perfect Chrono. Managed to catch the Lycan, but a return Chrono! You're kidding me! Traps 3! Now Storm Spirit falling incredibly low, able to zip away at the last second. MNZ on the run from the Lycan here, the Orchid, keeping him at bay. How did Heroic salvage this fight? Gofield is so damn good on this Rubik.
That was fantastic stolen Chronosphere, making sure nothing gets done. Oh, not done yet.
I mean, there's going to be a very nice soul bind. The Hex is there. He gets the cheese off at the last second of Analog, and because of that, Storm Spirit goes down. Sacred has to leave. 2 lanes of barracks fall for a Starbucks, and they're looking for the third and final. Oh my goodness. Just a couple moments in each of these engagements.
With that, Storm dead, 40 seconds, no buyback. You're going to get megaed here. I think they're just going to get to work on that mid tower as well, but even if you don't, now that you got mega creeps here at 30 minutes, this game is so tough. No creeps for a moment. Oh, they're about to connect in the other lanes.
Pulverize comes out, gets stolen though from Schofield, so you have to be very careful. Infest into the catapult as he's just gonna look for Yor, burning him down onto the backside. Abyssal Blade comes out as well. The Manta is trying to burn him down. K1 finishes the kill. Buyback coming through, but again, you gotta be careful. Schofield's got that Pulverize waiting, looking for an opportunity to use it. Glimpse will send him back, but a disruption to save him. Very nicely done. As Divine Llama actually commits the shapeshift here, thinking that there was going to be another fight. Instead, we'll just turn his attention on over to the Tormentor. Scythe as well as an Atos. Catching the Primal Beast. They come in. Analog's just dying because of the Tormentor damage. Schofield will get the shard, but it costs you your lives to get a kill onto the Storm Spirit instead, though. KJ isolated onto the backside. Science Up brought down as well. K1's like, what's my team doing over here? Schofield, a very aggressive blink into a time dilation. Dies for that one. Wait a minute. Heroic maybe getting a little bit too cocky. Glimpse gonna find K1 as well. No rage available at the moment. Stuck inside the cage. MNZ here on the Faceless Void. This is when he shines. Abyssal Blade will stun him up, but Sacred's here as well. Does drop the open wounds. The rage is there, trying to bring down the Primal Beast before that Pulverize comes up. He needs 1 second. The bash isn't enough. He goes for the Infest instead. The Pulverize will grab the Ancient Creep, and MNZ, he's got a Chronosphere. You might have to use it, man. Sacred's just trying to get away. You will survive on a sliver of HP, and there's the Chrono. They are tired of this. K1 goes down, a big kill streak going their way, but now you have to focus on your base.
Some great kills for them there. Don't really know if it changes the state of this game. Ooh, Sacred.
That's a rough one.
Yep.
That's a shapeshift, a hasted Centaur Conqueror running after you. He couldn't go for a TP.
I mean, with that, I think as soon as Lifestealer respawns, you just run it down. And it kind of looks like they're about to do that now anyways.
Yeah, I think you might be able to. There is a fortification at the moment, but you have no Chronosphere for 90 more seconds, and they know this, right? Like, any kill
no
onto...
buyback.
Ooh, Glimpse. Stolen from Schofield. Okay, that's scary. Jump in here from Dark Mago. He gets caught from a Orchid immediately. MNZ beating into the Leshrac, but a great disruption's going to save him. And there's going to be the Demonic Purge to turn around the Hex onto the Faceless Void. And with that, spelling disaster for the side of a Starbucks as Analog should be able to help finish up this game here in a few moments. You're going to buy back. MNZ doesn't want to give up quite yet. Orchid on the side will put Grimstroke.
Oh, look at this Ancient Fall.
The Edict damage is too much. Storm goes in, just gets caught from a stomp, and with these fortifications about to expire, I don't think he can do much. That's going to be game 2 now secured from Heroic, tying up this series 1-1.
Right, Heroic showing game 1. You know, a little bit of a fluke. Don't worry, guys. We still got this. Another draft that's